So, just to set the stage, as we know, Google wants to answer your questions, and they want to answer questions in the best way possible. So, what they're looking for is results that match what's put in the little search box. I'm going to show you an example here for, let's say, catering in Los Angeles. Catering in Los Angeles. I live just north of Los Angeles, California, and so let's use some results that are relevant to me. And where we're going to focus in right now is this little golden piece of real estate just below the ads right here. And this is above all the organic listings. Now, every so often you will see some ads that are up here. It's not necessarily 100% of the time. It primarily is searches that have a lot of results. So this is 44 million results specifically. But what we're focusing on is this map, or what we typically refer to as the 3-pack. Why is Google putting this really great information up at the top of the page? Because these 3 listings are actually what's called Google My Business listings. So Google has created these listings, or these profiles. A Google My Business, or GMB listing, is a free directory profile online. You can go to business.google.com to create one, or check out our other video on how to create one. The Google My Business listing is shown at the top of the search result in a map, or a 3-pack. It's above the organic results. Let's look at this first one. It's got all kinds of really great stuff. It's got links to the website. It's got directions. I can even click to call this listing, this business, and even save it. Now, I've also got some photos here, that get someone's mouth watering with some really delicious food. It's also got some reviews. It's going to show people, how reputable this business is, some of the little highlights that Google pulls from those reviews, and a bunch of other information. Inside of some of these reviews, there might even be some photos in here, for some of these reviews. Tons of information people can read through, provide a lot of really good context about this business. As you can see, this is a lot of information that Google is putting out on the web. And you know what? This doesn't have anything to do with their website. It doesn't have anything to do with a paid ad campaign. This is Google's own property, its own profile, and its own way of showcasing this business. I just want to make sure that you, understand that what we're talking about, what we're really talking about here, and here is how it shows up in a search result, this sort of listing. And the second item, B, is why it's so important, and because you can see really it's up here at the top, like their listings are up here at the top. They're above Yelp. They're above all these other Wolfgang Puck, all these other big catering websites and big listing sites. Now, if you keep scrolling down this page, you can get to these, what we so call organic listings, and there's lots of websites. So, but these have to do with your website. These are, require SEO. For instance, this is, Bite Catering. This website, they have to create a website, create content, do search engine optimization. That takes time and a lot of resources and money. Now, this area up here at the top, this is free. It's something that's very important, and it is something that will obviously revolutionize the amount of phone calls that you get and how clients are reaching out to you. As you can see, I searched for catering in Los Angeles. And all of these search results right here have this little word next to them, cater, cater, cater. So that means that each of these results, each of these businesses has selected catering as their primary category. Now, this is key. you're going to need to make a decision about your primary category for your Google My Business property or your Google My Business listing. As of 2021, there's just under 4,000 different categories that you can select from. Looking at these, we Google searched catering, but there's also the second one here. It says event venue. And so we can see that there's event venue, or this one says banquet hall. And these other listings obviously offer, event space, banquet hall space. Now, they're not necessarily the primary category that we searched, catering, but they obviously have some sort of a tie-in here. Now, what Google allows us to do is actually select up to 9 additional, so 10 total categories. Now, there's the primary one, which is listed here, but we aren't able to see, for instance, Bite Catering, they may have 10 categories listed. We don't know. They may only have 1. Again, we don't necessarily know. But what happens is if I Google search, event space, and they have event space as a category, they'll actually show up, but it'll say catering. And so Google allows you to sort of expand that search opportunity to be able to expand your potential customers. This is just a little tip to maybe, do a little competitive research to find out what categories your competitors are using. Search their names, look them up, see really what are the primary categories that they're using. It's really important that you choose a primary category for your business that's going to best answer the searcher's request for information. So we talked about, the fact that Google wants to best answer that question, and that's happening up here in the search bar. The way that you select your primary category is really important. So that is lesson number 1. What I want to do now is take you over to an actual Google My Business profile. I've logged in now, and you're going to need to do the same. You're going to need to go to business.google.com and log in with a Google or G Suite or Google Workplace email address. This can be a Gmail address or another address that you would log in to another Google entity. If someone manages your profile for you, maybe that's a digital agency or someone else at your business, you'll need to have them add you to that. Now, make sure you get added to that business profile, like I said, or you can claim the business listing if you haven't done so already. And check out video number 1 in this series, and that'll walk you through how to claim it. But we were talking just a moment ago about why it's so important to have a primary category that reflects your business and the fact that you can have up to 9 additional categories or 10 in total. So let's dive in. Just go ahead and log in to that dashboard. And once you've logged in, you should have a dashboard area that looks like this. Now, if you have more than one business, what'll happen is Google will provide you a list of those 3, 5, 10, how many ever businesses you manage. Click on the one you want to edit. If you only have one business, when you log in, this is the screen you will see. Very similar to this. Obviously, it'll have your business name up here in the top left-hand corner. This is a client of ours. They're a carpet cleaning restoration company. So now down the left-hand side, I'm already on the Home tab. That's why it's got the little blue banner behind it. I'm going to scroll down. What I'm looking for is services. I'm going to click on services. Now, when you click on services, the interface, for the Google My Business directory is going to ask you what you want to have as your primary category. Now, we've already set this client's primary category to carpet cleaning services. Now, what's happened is Google actually went through their website and found a bunch of keywords related to carpet cleaning services and suggested all of these. We went ahead and accepted those from Google, so that way it would add those in as an addition. Now, what happens here is that's the primary category. And then we have additional categories such as general contractor, upholstery cleaning services, fire damage restoration, water damage restoration. And if they had any other types of services, we could always click the add another business category down here and we can type that in. So let's say that they decided that they wanted to open a taco shop. In their carpet cleaning storefront. If they did, we would select taco restaurant and add that as an additional category. Now, for instance, as you can see, some of these other ones here, taxi taxi stand, taxidermist, tax assessor, tax attorney, taxi service, and taxi stand are definitely two varying elements, but could be under the same business. When it comes down to tax, there's a ton of different type of tax elements. There are, like I mentioned prior, about 4,000 different categories. So there are a lot. And again, you don't want to go overboard. And if something doesn't apply to your business, don't select it. It's going to confuse people and make it really, really, really hard to understand what your business is. So you can go through here. Once you have a primary category, you can sort of add some additional possible search elements and add a service underneath that primary category. So for instance, water damage, underneath water damage, they have flooring or mold inspection or mold removal. And so if I go in here and type in mold maker, Google doesn't have mold removal as a category. So what we've done is under water damage, we added mold removal underneath that primary. And that's just simply by adding a service within inside of that primary category. So if there's something that you offer or a service that you offer that doesn't have a category, don't be concerned. Just go ahead and add that as a service under a category that it would apply to. Now, it's really important that you pay attention. And when you're looking at, this Google result, let me go ahead and scroll back down here. This is where it impacts where you show up and how you search or how someone searches for you. So looking for catering or, wherever, whatever the category is here, whether you have any chance, of showing up at all, is really what we're talking about when it comes to this category. You want to make sure that you're on top, that you are on this top portion here, this gold real estate that's on google.com. So if you take nothing else away from this video, I want to make sure that you understand claiming your business profile and setting that primary category. And again, you can set that primary category once you log in, services, make sure you get that primary category set, and then you can add additional ones that are relevant. Now, if you don't have a ton of other things that you do, let's say in this example, you just do catering. I was using catering as an example here. Some of the other ones that we were seeing, maybe it was a catering that's done by a restaurant or catering at a venue. Let's say you just do catering. Just add catering and that's it. You want to make sure that there's a legitimate core sort of to your business and that you really just showcase that. Now, as I explained, you can. So let's say this says catering, and you can add in wedding, birthdays, company events, because although catering is in here, wedding catering, may not be. And that's really where those additional services allow you to do that. So, and you don't want to go crazy overboard on categories. Like I said, if they don't apply to you, in reality, it's just going to water things down. You're going to get a bunch of people calling you that really it's not relevant. They're just going to waste your time. It's just not going to help. And you're not really going to get any business from it. So, as I mentioned, in another segment, you're not going to be able to see those secondary categories on Google Maps. So if you add them and you come in here and you're like, I'm not seeing all 5 categories, don't worry. As long as the primary one's listed, you're fine. Just double check inside of the Google My Business that they are listed here. And as long as they're listed, Google will take those into consideration when people are searching. So just a quick look at the dashboard of Google My Business. And again, you want to see under services here, you're able to select those primary categories and secondary categories. And that's really what I want to show and how you can really recapture those potential prospects and people looking. Make sure that you do or claim your business, do that, claim your listing, and make sure that you have that primary category set. This is a super valuable tool. So many businesses don't do this. They don't put a category, they don't claim it, they don't do any of that. Reclaiming a business after it's gotten claimed by someone else is a pain in the rear. Just claim your business, add a category. We sharing more videos. Got a third one below this one if you're on our landing page, or check the notes and there'll be the link to the third one. As you can see, the Google Business Directory is just chocked full of all kinds of really awesome tools. There's a ton of other stuff down here on the side. That's video 3. But wanted to share this, how you can take advantage and really help grow your business.